One of the most important female roles in my life because she wrote a lot of books that influenced my life as I was growing up, and it influenced me to be a better person.
I believe women's empowerment and women in power have changed from generation to generation. My grandmother stayed at home, my mother stayed at home, but I stayed at home and decided to go back to college and after work to show my daughters that you can do better than stay home and cook and clean.
Woman empowerment is when women are like uplifted or something and they're treated with respectfully, and like, you know, because when you empower someone, it's about helping them succeed and that kind of thing.
Go.
So basically my understanding of women empowerment is basically women teaming up together and making a difference, doing something that helps other women understand their potential, understand their worth, knowing that they are not less than anyone else. They're not less than men. They are equal to and sometimes even above men. I think it sucks how the world is today because a lot of women are underpaid because they are a female, and I think it's extremely important for women to realize that they are much more than what a lot of different men say they are. A lot of men say that women aren't good enough, they're not smart enough, they don't have the proper education, when they really do. I think that the economy today is horrible because it's mainly men that run a lot of the companies, and I think women do have the brains, they have the intelligence, they have the resources, they have the power to run companies, they have the power to do things the same or even better than what men can do.
Okay. In my life, I wanted to accomplish a whole lot, and us women, we can't be able to do that because it's like a dominated male thing nowadays, and we have to push ourselves to like go forth. I don't know. That's all I can.
Go.
I think women should be able to feel as empowered as they can. Because, I mean, have you seen what a terrible job men have done since the beginning of time? I mean, every war I know of has been started by a man. I mean, I think any woman that can do whatever she wants to. I want to grow up in a world where my sister can feel like she could be president if she wants to, or she could be leader of NASA, something like that, you know?
I think it means that women are free and
Can a woman be president?
yes, a woman could be president if they wanted to.
How about could Mama, when she was your age, could a woman be president? Did women evolve? Did they work up to that?
Yes, they probably tried.
So when Grandma,
So when people got in their way,
what happened? They had to work harder than
yes, they had to work harder than
men.
they have. Yes.
Women empowerment. I don't know. I feel like women always feel like they have to compete with everything and looks and everything. I just don't understand. Why can't we all just love each other and appreciate each other and like lift each other up and not compete, because we're gonna get more done and be appreciated. Well, not appreciated more because men don't love us, but we're gonna get more done if we work together. And yeah, of course I felt like less of a person, was it? Less of a person because of something that a man has said, or just actions, period. I mean, it's our society these days, but if women work together, we can change that.
I think women empowerment is like the ability for women to do things that men should be able to do, like having equal pay, equal rights, being able to work outside of home, like back in the days. powerful woman?
In my opinion, I would say that women empowerment would be a very important thing in our society because we live in a very patriarchal society, considering the fact that men are considered to be the breadwinners. They're the ones that go out and get the highest paying jobs. They're seen as the dominant of our species. They're seen to be more important than women overall. In my own personal experience, I've noticed that as a woman, it was harder for me to get a job in some places because the managers wanted men to do the position that I was applying for. I know when I applied for my first job, the manager that actually hired me only hired women of about my height, and if they had brown hair, a specific eye color, a specific body type, he only hired them because he liked the way they looked. He didn't care about their actual qualifications for the job. Even at my other job, I had to hold the door open for customers when they would come to the door. I had to beat them to it, welcome them in, so they had a good atmosphere when they came in and ate. And I actually opened the door for 3 gentlemen once, and 2 of them came in, no problem, said hello, sat down, went about their business. One gentleman decided he wanted to stand right at the exit of the door and refused to come inside the building because I was holding the door open for him. He refused to come into a building if a woman was holding the door open for him. He made me let go of the door so that he could open it himself and come into the establishment. And honestly, I think that's the dumbest thing ever. Like, female empowerment is definitely something we need in our society.
Oh, that's good though, right? Oh, it's going. I don't know. I think empowerment for women meant a lot of different things at a lot of different times in American history. When we go back to the late 18th century, at the time that our Constitution was ratified, women were excluded from constitutional rights, including suffrage rights. So empowerment for women, I believe by the turn of the 20th century, the first quarter of the 20th century, was obtaining suffrage rights. And I think empowerment has built from there. I mean, we talked about World War II and the need for industrial laborers and women working in factories. That was empowerment. And then that was the beginning of women by the masses entering the workforce, which I think that by today's standards, now that we're here in the first quarter of the 21st century, empowerment for women is complicated. Women have careers. If we think about the same career that I have, there are college professors and instructors that are paid to teach college classes for female scholars compared to male scholars. There's a wage gap. Men are paid more than women are in a variety of professions, not just in teaching. There's still a stigma for empowered women. Professional women that go to work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week still struggle with the stigma that home is their place. When it comes to parenting, women are expected to function simultaneously as professionals and also as parents. And I think that is not something that men struggle with. So being an empowered woman, in my opinion, isn't necessarily perfect. Sure, it's better if we look back a couple hundred years in American history. Things are a lot better for women now than they were. But the struggle continues. I think that it's far more complicated now to be an empowered woman and to be able to take advantage of the benefits of being an empowered woman, because the empowered woman in the 21st century still has the baggage of disenfranchised women from the 20th century and the 19th century and the 18th century. So while women empowerment is obviously a good thing, I think it's also a very complicated thing.
And I feel like that, like she said, a woman can do anything. Sometimes I think you can do it better than a man, because we're more compassionate and we see things in a whole different aspect than men do. Personally, I mean, push come to shove, that's the only thing that they can do we can't do. Everything else, we can do it. And the government will run a whole lot better with women.
From Poetry is Not a Luxury, Audre Lorde is a huge activist when it comes to women empowerment. She showed women that poetry can give them a voice. And she was an author who had a huge impact on women, and she showed women that they can be strong just as men can.
Another woman who impacted women was Emily Dickinson. Her work, I'm White, I've Finished, gave light to women under pressure. It showed the real pressure that women had to find a husband. Back then, if you did not have a husband, you were not much. Emily showed that it was okay not to have a husband, and that all you need is yourself.
The last author who made an impact was Mina Loy and her work, The Feminist Manifesto. She outlined many issues with sex. She very loudly stated that it was powerful to be a woman and women are strong and independent. All these important works and authors made women empowerment what it is.